Welcome to DIY Easy Crafts and BergKnifemaking.com. Today we're going to take a look at the very beginning of a knife making project. This is a very short video and I really just want to show you what is involved in the entire knife making build. So we're going to start off with knife blanks. I designed these and I had them cut out by Long Island Water Jet. I start by applying some Dykem blue to the edge, and then I used a scribe in order to scribe two parallel lines along that edge. They're called railroad tracks. And these are going to be the guide that I'm going to use when grinding the bevels. I'm going to grind the rough bevels on each side and just until it hits that line. Now in today's video, like I said, I'm prepping these knives, basically everything to get them ready for heat treating. So one of the steps, of course, is either to remount or to drill whatever pinholes you're going to need, whether they're going to be bolster holes or holes for the handles or the scales. In this case, I'm going to experiment with putting, I think these are eighth-inch holes, a series of eighth-inch holes that are going to give me the option of either using those eighth-inch pins or the existing quarter-inch pins that are already drilled through the blank. And that's really just going to be a design preference. I'm just not quite sure which I'm going to use. This is the time to do it. You don't want to have to drill any holes after heat treating. I'm also going to take a couple of minutes and just bevel each one of those holes so it doesn't have a sharp edge. Just breaking the corner on each of those pinholes. Once that's done, we're going to move over to the 2x72 grinder and start working on the rough bevels. Now, as many of you know, I use an Origin blade maker, OBM 2x72. It's powered by a 2-horsepower motor. I do have variable speed, and I use that in conjunction with one of our tilt table bevel jigs. Now, the tilt table just is set at the angle you want the bevel to be. Now, what I've done here is I've scribed lines on a scrap piece of wood, and I've created a very quick bevel on that wood just to see the width that the final bevel is going to be and if it's acceptable for the knife that I'm working on. Once you get the angle set and the bevel width to where you want it, you can start beveling the blade. On the tilt table, I start the knife a little bit low on the table, and then I apply pressure and then move it up into contact with the grinding belt. Once the blank is in contact with the belt, then it's just a matter of keeping it flat against the tilt table while moving it from one side to the other. You can notice that I pivot it, basically on my thumb. My thumb is applying pressure, and I pivot it on my thumb to mimic the curvature of the blade. But really, if you just keep a careful eye on those parallel scribed lines, and you only grind the entire length of the blade until it just hits that outer line, then your bevel is going to have a consistent width that's going to follow the curvature of the blade. Now, for this side of the knife, you're seeing these rough bevels done real time. So there's no cuts in the video. I'm just basically showing you how I do it. It's not a very long process. On these little knives, it probably takes me, 2 minutes, 2.5, 3 minutes at the most to do the rough bevels on each side of the knife. Now, I'm not rushing. I'm just taking my time, keeping a real close eye on that scribed line. And of course, I'm cooling the blank in between each grind. I've got a bucket of water over on the side. I've got my coolant bucket mounted kind of high so I don't have to bend over each time just to cool off the blade. So one side is done, and now I'm going to move over onto the other side. Now this one is not going to be done real time. I'm going to show you a couple of different clips just to give you a better idea of what's going on. I'm using a very coarse grit belt. This is a 36 grit. Coarse grit belts will generate less heat and remove more material quicker than finer grit belts. And especially for rough bevels, I really want to remove the material pretty quickly. And anytime I can reduce the heat is a good thing on my fingers. So here's a closer look. I also have a light mounted to the 2x72 that allows me to move it into a position where I can actually focus on and see those scribed lines. Just a couple of different angles. And on this video, like I said, I'm just going to do the prep. We're going to do the rough bevels, reaming out or drilling the pinholes. And when we're finished with this video, both of these knives are basically going to be ready for heat treating. I think the entire build is probably going to take me 3 short videos. The second video will cover the heat treating and the tempering, the sub-zero quench, and also maybe cleaning up the bevels post heat treating. And then the final, or the third video, will cover putting on the scales. And I'm going to be experimenting with an inlay on these scales. So I'm actually kind of eager to move this project along because I've never done an inlay like this before. So anyway, a couple more minutes on the tilt table. I'm just making sure that both sides are even, that the ground nice and even along those etched lines. And here you have 2 aeb-l stainless steel knife blanks that are all prepped and ready for heat treating. Not a very elaborate video today, but like I said, I just wanted to cover each step of the knife making process. And I'm going to do this in probably 3 short videos. I hope you liked the video. If you did, I ask that you please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to this YouTube channel, and if you can, please make a comment on the video. I'd like to give you an invite to our Facebook group, Knives and Knife Making. And please check us out on the web at DIYEasyCrafts.com and Berg, B-E-R-G, knifemaking.com. Thank you very much.